Welcome to Badges. On today's show, we're going to take a tour of the fire truck. Come on and join me. Alright, so what we're going to do today is we're going to walk around the truck and check some of the equipment. So the first thing I want to do is check the air pack. So I'm going to take it out. This is just regular breathing air. And what this does is it helps firefighters. When we go into a building and it's full of smoke, this helps us to breathe so that we're not putting smoke into our lungs. So what we do is I'll put it down on the floor. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just checking all the straps, making sure the straps are out. I'm going to turn it on. And I check the gauge. There's a gauge here that tells me if it's full or not. This is the alarm that if there's no movement of a firefighter, it's going to get really loud. And I'll let it get loud in 1 second after I'm done checking it. So there's a gauge there. Then there's a gauge over here so that we can see it. And there's alarms on it too. I can press an alarm if I need help. I can press an alarm. Then we have the mask that goes on my face. And you can turn the air on, or when I put it on, it'll start automatically. This is the alarm because I haven't moved. It's going to get really loud. And that's what helps us to fire. So that's an alarm to tell if a firefighter's in trouble. If this is on my back and I'm crawling through a building and I get hurt, and I don't move, once I stop moving, this alarm activates, and that helps other firefighters locate the injured firefighter. So basically, you saw me with all my gear on the other day, and this all straps in. You can tighten these straps, you can buckle this one too, tightens up. And then that's how you do that. See, this comes off too. I can put my mask on over my face. You've probably seen that in different firefighter shows. So once we put this on and activate, it's locked in. And here's that alarm again. As long as I move, it'll stop. As soon as I stop moving, the alarm will activate and go off. This is my gauge here, so I can see how much I have. I can activate the alarm, say that I'm in trouble, I can just push it, and it activates. I need help. Somebody come find me. And then I press the button twice to stop it. So it's a safety feature, so if a firefighter gets hurt, the other firefighters can come in and find the firefighter that's hurt, get him out of the building. So you can see the back. And that's what that's all about. So we check this every day on the trucks. And in the back, for every seat we have on the truck, there is a pack. Now I'm going to shut it off. So when we're all done using it, we shut it off and undo all the straps, put it back in the rack. I'm going to put it back in the rack so it's ready to go. Also, after I use it, after the face piece is on, we'll take the face piece off and we have a special cleaning fluid that will clean all the glass and make it ready for the next one. So right in the charger here we have it's called a thermal imaging camera. And what that does is we'll bring it into the house and it will allow you to see, I don't know if you can zoom in on that, but do you see me in the camera? And it illuminates a person. So that's how we can tell if someone's in the house. We try to find them. So that comes in very handy. So this was just in the charger inside the truck, and this is our portable radio. So when we go on a call, we're going to take a portable radio with us. And each member of the fire department has a radio. And this has our frequency along with other towns. So you can hear that. And that's how we communicate. So if we need more fire trucks or a ladder truck or an ambulance or more firefighters, we can call and tell them what the severity of the call is, whether it's a fire or a medical, and if we need more help. So there's also a radio inside the truck too that we can communicate from the truck. So there's many ways to communicate. So what I'll do is I'll start the truck up, and when I turn it on, I gotta wait a few seconds. It'll go through a little test before I can start it. You'll hear some buzzers and you might see some flashing lights, and that's all normal. So this is what the driver of the fire truck would do if we got a call. They would hop into the truck and they would turn it on. And then you can hear some fans, you might be able to see some lights coming on. You see some flashing lights. And then once it's ready, I can press the button and it stops. So now the fire truck's running. Turn all my lights on. Put my seatbelt on. I want to show you what happens when I don't put my seatbelt on. Let the truck and drive. That means I don't have my seatbelt on. So we cannot drive the truck down the street until we plug in the seatbelt. Now that the seatbelt's on, and every firefighter has to wear their seatbelt, or the alarm goes off. Then we can drive down the street. That's the fire horn. So that's what the driver would do. And then when the driver gets to the scene, everybody gets out of the truck, and then the driver is responsible for running the pump. This has a pump and water and hoses on it. So this is called a pump truck. And then there's other trucks that have ladders on it. And then we have ambulances and rescue truck. A rescue truck's a big box truck that has tools, a lot of tools, the jaws of life, airbags, anything that we would need to lift something if there was a car accident or some type of construction accident. We'd use it for that. Before the truck leaves the station, it's backed in, it's plugged into a cord, and it's also plugged into the exhaust system. This is called a plimo vent. It protects us from breathing the exhaust fumes in the building. And as you can see, this one's plugged in to the exhaust pipe of the truck next to it. So when this truck goes out, this will automatically release and come off the tailpipe when we leave. And then when we bring it back in, we put it back on each time. And then over here, this is an electrical cord. This keeps the truck plugged in so it's ready to go. And when the driver gets in the truck, like I was just in, and turns the key on, this automatically pops out. And then the exhaust automatically comes off, and the truck can go down the street safely. And that keeps the air compressor up, because we rely on air brakes on these big trucks. That keeps the air compressor up so it will be ready to go. Because most diesel trucks, you have to run them for quite a while before they're ready to move. But fire trucks, we can't wait to warm up the truck. So this keeps the truck ready to go. Keeps the electricity and the batteries charged, and it keeps the air pumped up in the brakes. So as soon as we start it, we can go. Over here, the driver is responsible for running the pump. So when we get to a fire, the other firefighters will get out and they will pull some hoses. Here's the hoses. Everybody's seen that before, right? We pull the hose off the truck, go into the building, turn it on, and water will come out. So, put it back. And there's another one here for the other side, and then there's even a bigger one if we need a lot of water. And this just protects it, keeps it clean. So that's for the firefighters to go into the building. This is for the driver to run the pump. So he'll come over here and he'll pull this valve here. And he'll pull that one there. And then depending on which hose we use, I use the orange crosslay. So then I'm going to come over here and pull the orange crosslay. And that turns that hose on. But you can't turn it on until all the hose is out, because it'll fill up with water. And then over here, this is the electronics. So if they tell me, I need more water, I don't have enough water because I'm going up to the second floor, then you can hit the different buttons to make the engine run faster and give more pressure. And then all these gauges will come up. They're all 0 now, but they'll come up. And then if we need water from the fire hydrants that are in front of your homes, we get a big hose that ties into this from the fire hydrant. And that's why it's so important in the wintertime to clear around your fire hydrant. If you have a fire hydrant in front of your house, or if your neighbor has one in front of their house, after you're done shoveling the walkway, go over and shovel around the fire hydrant. Because we depend on that to tie into this. Because this only has a certain amount of water in it. And once that water runs out in about 3.5 minutes, we need more water. So that's why we tie it into the hydrant. And then what I'll do is I'll go up the stairs. These are steps. And pull these down. Now I can climb up and I can check up above the truck for the water and make sure everything's okay. Alright, so I'm going to climb up and check the water level of the tank. So as you can see, there's plenty of handrails and bars to grab. This is some more hose. This is the hard suction hose. This is actually a light. We can turn a light on if we need it. And then over here at the very top of the tank, that's how I look in to see how much water is in the tank. It's inside here. And And there's also gauges on the truck on the side that tells me how much water, but we always want to check and make sure that there's water in the tank. So after I check the water, we also have foam. There's a liquid in there. It's like bubbles in your bathtub. We pour a liquid in, and it allows bubbles to go through the line, and it helps put out fires. So that's why we have foam. And there's a little ladder up here that we have, another one, and then behind that there's a deck gun. So if we have a really big fire that we can't get close to, we can use the deck gun, and that shoots a big stream of water. But again, we have to be tied into the fire hydrant to feed that deck gun, because it uses a lot of water. So that was the pump area, and that's the top of the truck where the water is. Then we come to the side of the truck, and there's all kinds of little compartments. And everything has a spot. I don't know if anybody can guess what that is, but it's called a chalk block. And what we do is when we get to a fire and the pump operator and the driver parks the truck, he comes around and he puts the chalk blocks up. The chalk blocks are so the truck doesn't roll. We don't want the truck rolling when we're using it, because somebody can get hurt. So that's a safety measure. It also has brakes and air brakes, but this is just another way to keep everything safe. And then these are roll-up drawers. And this is more hose and another nozzle. This is called a high-rise pack. We could take this, if it's a really tall building, we can bring the high-rise pack up, and then we can hook up water and fight the fire way up high. So that helps there. We have different fire extinguishers. If it's a small fire, we can use little fire extinguishers. We have a water extinguisher. We have a dry chemical extinguisher. We have a CO2 extinguisher, which is like snow. And then we have a Class D, which is for a heavy metal. If we have a heavy metal fire, you can't put water on a heavy metal fire. It's like rims on a car that are made out of magnesium. If magnesium burns, you can't put it out with water. You have to use a Class D type chemical to spread on it to put the fire out. Any of the new fire trucks and ambulances come with all this tape that's fluorescent, because when we stop at a fire or an accident and traffic's still coming by, we don't want anybody to crash into us. So this, when it's at night, it illuminates with headlights, and during the day you can see it very well. So this protects us too. There's also a little camera right here. This is so the driver can see from the back of the truck. When he puts the truck in reverse, he can back up, and there's a camera inside the truck, a video screen that can see the back of the truck. So we don't run anybody over or we don't crash into anything. So it's another safety feature. And then this is the big hose I was talking about. This is what we use to tie into the fire hydrant. Where it is. These are some of the tools we use. That's how we turn the fire hydrant on. It's a wrench. It turns on the valve. This is what we tie into the fire hydrant. So that's why it's important to keep the fire hydrants clean, and nobody should park in front of a fire hydrant either. So keep it clear in case we need it. These are different things we use when we're at a fire. We have shovels, we have axes, this is for chopping. it's important to have all the tools in the proper place. So if we open this compartment and something's missing, then we have to look for it and see if it was left behind, and then we get it and put it back on. It has to be there because we have to be ready for the next fire. That may save somebody's life by breaking down a door. If somebody's trapped in a fire and we don't have the key, we can break the door down with an axe and get in and get the person out safely and put the fire out. Back over here, we can tie into the hydrant again, or we can tie into another fire truck. So once we tie into the hydrant, we have pressure from the town, and then we can tie this into another fire truck to keep pumping the water. And then we're back here to the seats again. Here we are, we're back at the front where we started. And we have flashlights in here. We have different tools that are mounted on the wall. We have rubber gloves in case we need to use rubber gloves. And then each seat folds down, and then there's a air pack on each seat. And it's ready to go. It's got plenty of handrails to grab for safety. And there we are. We're back at the front. You see how big the truck is. Look how tall that tire is. It's a big truck. That's why it's important to pull to the right when we're coming by, because this big truck is very heavy. If it's coming by to go to a fire, you need to pull to the side and get out of the way so that we can safely go by. So one of the most frequently asked questions is, how much does the gear weigh and what do we put on for gear? So I brought my gear out and I'm going to put it on. I want to say it's around 40 pounds to put all this gear on, and then we put an air pack on, and then they have tools to hold, and, gloves. So I'll start with my pants. Here are my gloves. I keep my gloves inside my pants. These are tools. You know, stuff that we can use. Screwdrivers. And this is a vest. I use that if I'm out in a car accident. I want to put a vest on so that we don't get hit by a car, like another car going by. So these are called quick hitches. And what a quick hitch is it's a pair of protective pants with boots and suspenders. And we just step in like that. Yeah. Pull them up. Put the suspenders on. Suspenders so my pants don't fall down. Okay, then I have a rope in a bag. In case I need to get out. And hook a rope up. It's a safety rope. You can use it for a lot of things. I can use it to pull myself up, get myself down, or if we need a tool, say I'm on the second floor of a house and I need an axe that I don't have with me, I can lower this rope out the window. One of my fellow firefighters can hook the axe, and then I just pull it back up. Just packs back into my pocket. There's another safety latch there too. And I can hook this safety latch onto here, because this has a built-in harness. So if I'm going to lower myself down, this is a built-in harness that goes around through my legs. It's part of the pants. So I just stuff this back in now. This is called a figure eight, double figure eight on a bite. It's a very strong knot. It won't come apart. And also, run this through this way. Just for a little safety. That's the safety. So that, you can't pull that apart. There's no way that's going to come apart. So that goes back in here, ready to go for the next time. There's a little yellow reflector to grab so I can unbutton it quick. Okay, so that's the pants and the rope. Now I'm going to put the jacket on. The jacket also has a built-in harness inside. In case I get in trouble, they can pull me. Okay? This is my identification tag. If we go to a call, everybody that's at the call that's a firefighter is going to hand their tag in, and that's how we keep accountability. So if there's a problem, they know that I'm in the building. They know what from my tag, where I am. They write it down where I am, what I'm doing. So it's just a checks and balance so that if something happens, they know how to account for it. That usually goes here in the truck. And we're going to button up here. This is a Nomex hood. Protects me more from fire. And you put your collar up. We got a helmet. There's a leather helmet. It's got a chin strap if I need it. It's got shields to protect my eyes. So that goes on. And the gloves. That's it.